Okay, real quick before we get the podcast started this week, I do want to say that we're thinking of all of those who were affected by the senseless tragedy in Nashville that could have easily been prevented. The school shooting there on Monday. Of course, we had 3 children killed and 3 adults killed. This has to stop, man. It really does. And I know people are going to say guns are not the problem. The people are the problem and all this other stuff that I see on social media. Okay. No, guns are not the problem. Guns are a problem. Yes. Mental health is a problem. Yes. Both of them are problems. There are things we can do to help curb this. We've already had 13 school shootings this year. It's not even April yet. We've had almost 130 mass shootings. It's not even the halfway point of the year yet. Something's got to give. Something's got to change. And if you don't see that, well, I don't know what to tell you. It's our political system. It's broken. Our politicians aren't going to do anything about it. That's why I didn't say thoughts and prayers at the beginning of this, because thoughts and prayers don't do really anything anymore. But yeah, this has just gotta stop, man. It really does. It has to. We have to do something. Our kids can't be killed for just going to school. We can't worry about going to the supermarket or to church or to a movie theater and worry about getting shot. We shouldn't have to worry about that. Like I said, the far left wants more guns. The far right wants less guns. The far right wants more guns. We can't piss off the NRA. We can't piss off the gun lobby. Screw that. I mean, it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. I think really the first step we need to take is an assault weapons ban. Why do we have assault weapons? What is their use in our society? Why do we need them? I mean, rifles, yes, they're used for sport. They're used for hunting. I get that. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have those because, like I said, they're used for sport. But assault weapons have no place in our society. Why are they still around? We need to, that's a good place to start. But much more needs to be done beyond that for both guns and mental health. Because we can't have these lunatics have the guns. We can't have guns in the wrong hands, essentially. So we need to do something about that, too. I just need to get that off my chest before we started the podcast today. So here now is the rest of this week's episode of the podcast. Okay, so before we dive in completely to this week's topic, there are a couple of things I want to mention off the top. First of all, again, I want to thank everybody who's been listening to this podcast. I really do appreciate and I am sincerely grateful for everyone who has. I bring this up because I got a couple of messages over the weekend from 2 people I used to be in school with, and somebody who I consider a very, very close friend, who I've taken a number of pictures with over the years. She reached out and said she loved the inspirational messages and what we talk about here on this podcast, and I do sincerely appreciate it. And another buddy of mine said the same thing, who I went to school with, reached out over the weekend. So I appreciate those kind messages, and I really needed them after last week. And really Sunday, because Sunday I had some anxiety because I am coming to you from the great state of Indiana. I took the week off to try and decompress and get my mind off of things. So I'm here with you in the state of Indiana for the week, recording this podcast. And it's been nice, but Sunday I had some anxiety because of my cousin's kid's first birthday party. There was a lot of people I didn't know. It was unfamiliar territory for me, but it turned out pretty well. I mean, it wasn't that bad. I did have some anxiety, but it overall, was not that bad. I'll tell you. And I enjoyed it very much. So again, thank you to everybody who's been listening. I appreciate the messages that I've gotten so far, and we're going to keep doing it. And why I do it is because 2 reasons I do it is, number one, because I really like it. This is my passion project. This has been a passion of mine, podcasting, creating content, just creating content in general. I hope to do more of it in the days, weeks, months, and years to come on a variety of different platforms, not just podcasts. I want to get back into the gaming sphere. I want to make content like that for my YouTube channel. That's really the one reason why I do it. And the second reason why I do this podcast is to try to give you some ideas or give you some inspiration in your life, and to try to help you through what I have learned in my seemingly young life. I'm only not even 27 yet. I will be here in about a month or so, but I've gone through a lot, and I hope what I say can bring you some value. That's why I do this podcast. So I truly appreciate everything that I have gotten thus far. And by the way, like I said, I've had a wonderful time out here in Indy so far. It's really nice. If you recall, I lived here for about 6 months back in 2015. It was a great experience, and that's really what led me to the start of my journey. So that is something I wanted to address right off here at the top. The second thing I wanted to talk about before we get into this week's topic is Charles Barkley. He had an interview on 60 Minutes the other night, and I watched it, and I like Charles Barkley for several reasons. He's a funny guy. He seems like a charismatic guy. Seems like a stand-up guy. What you see is what you get. But one of the main reasons why I like Charles is because he's real. He's authentic. He's a no-nonsense, no stand-up kind of guy. Like, he's not going to throw you off. Basically, what's on his mind, it comes out of his mouth. So that's really the main reason why I like Charles. And he said something in his interview that I think really stood out. And it's his ongoing feud with Kevin Durant, which I don't know why they've been feuding. I don't really follow the NBA. But he said these young guys can't take criticism very well. And I want to say this. Colin Cowherd, who, if you've known me for any period of time, you know he is my radio inspiration. He's the one that's inspired me to start my radio show way back when. He said how you react to criticism defines how accurate it is. Well, Kevin Durant went on Twitter and he's saying, why are you still beefing about this, Charles? He obviously hit a very sensitive spot, Charles did. And if you're in the public eye, you're not immune to criticism. Whether you're an athlete, an actor, a musician, even a news anchor, you're not immune to criticism. Even in your own personal life, even in your own personal life, you're not immune to criticism. If you do something wrong, you're going to get criticized for it. But you learn from your mistake and you move on, which, by the way, we're going to have a talk about that in a bonus episode coming up later this week. But, you're not immune to criticism, especially when you're in the public eye. So you have to learn to deal with the criticism, use it to make yourself better, whether both on what you're doing, like if it's on the field, work on what's on the field, and work what's off the field. Work on what's off the field. Do you get what I mean, guys? It's really not that hard to understand. You can't be immune to criticism in your life. It's constructive. You hope it's constructive, and you work to learn, or you work on that. You use it to work on yourself and make yourself better. So, this week's topic. This is a topic I know a lot about, especially in the last few years. The last probably 4 to 5, even 6 years. And that is loneliness. I've dealt with it for the better part of the last 5 to 6 years, as I just said. And it's a lot worse now than when I was younger, and I think it's because of the fact that I'm being more open and being more vulnerable with myself and who I am. That's why, because when I was in high school, I'll be honest, I wasn't wanting a girlfriend. I wasn't wanting to feel love because I barely could feel love towards myself. But now that I'm on this journey and I'm becoming more vulnerable with who I am and I'm trying to learn to love myself, maybe that's opened the door to becoming a little more lonely. And because I have been trying in the last several years to look for that girlfriend. I've had a couple relationships that have not gone well. I've made mistakes in the past with things that I'm not proud of that I've done. I'll be straight up in saying that. I've done things I am not proud of, but I'm learning from that. I've learned from that. I made those mistakes, and I've become better for it. And I think I'm in a better position now to be in a relationship than I was even 8, 9, 10, 11 years ago. And I say that because if I were to date someone now, I would be a much better person than if I was dating someone when I was still in high school. Because in high school, I was still being the person that I wasn't, or the person I was not trying to be, if you get what I mean. You get what I mean? Like, I was trying to be somebody that I wasn't, and if I had found somebody in high school, I wouldn't be who I am now, and the relationship would not last long at all, because I was trying to be somebody that I wasn't. Now, I'm a better person. I'm still not perfect, nor am I ever going to be perfect. Again, I'm always trying, as I said from the beginning, I'm just trying to be the best person I can be, the best version of myself that I can be. I still have a patience problem I'm working on. I still have a anger problem that I'm working on. I'm not perfect, nor will I ever be. I've said that many times on this podcast, and I'll continue to say it because it's true. Like I said, I am in a better place now to find somebody than if I were to try to find somebody when I was in high school. See, so that is why I just feel like I'm ready to find somebody, but it's not going well because I don't have a lot of things working in my favor. Mainly dating today, a lot of people judge based off of looks, and I don't have those. But I'm all personality driven anyway. I look at personality, I look at interest, because interest for me is a key part of finding somebody. I think we have to have some things in common in order for it to work. But if we don't have anything in common, it's really not going to work. But if I have chemistry with the person, though, and we don't have a lot in common, then maybe it could. It just depends, because I also am learning to try not to fall so fast. That's also a big mistake that I've made, is falling too hard too fast. I'm working on that too. It's a struggle, no doubt, but I'm working on it, and I'm trying to maybe not fall so hard so fast. And hopefully, when the time is right, I do find somebody, but right now I'm just going with the flow. But I have dealt with loneliness in the past. It's still a struggle for me from time to time, but I'm getting better slowly but surely, and hopefully when the time is right, like I said, I will find somebody. And that will do it for this week's edition of I've Got Something to Say. As always, guys, thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. Again, keep sending in those messages to me on social media. If you like what you're hearing, even if you don't like what you're hearing, tell me what I could be doing differently. Just reach out on my social pages or TJT Podcast, the social pages there. On Facebook and Twitter. You can email me, tjtpodcast@gmail.com, or you can send in a voice message. We'll try to maybe do a feedback episode sometime when we get enough feedback. I just appreciate all the wonderful things that have been sent to me thus far, and I just appreciate you listening. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep making this hopefully something you can enjoy and something you can take something away from. You can take something from what I say, because that's really one of the two big reasons why I do it, and the other, of course, is I just enjoy this. I enjoy talking to you in front of not in front of a camera, but in a microphone here. So take care. Have a great rest of your week. Stay safe out there. And I'll talk to you all again later this week when we have a bonus episode. So take care.